Battlefield 2042 has got some huge news that you guys do not want to miss. We've got a brand new update that will be releasing tomorrow, which is the 0.2.1 patch, and this will be updated across all platforms with fixes for critical issues that were identified prior to the start of early access. This is all coming from Battlefield Bulletin, their Twitter feed. The update will go live at 8 a.m. UTC. Servers will be offline for 60 minutes. So Battlefield 2042 early access is getting updated, and we have the patch notes right here. So the fixes, changes, and improvements that are going to be happening for Battlefield 2042 early access is they implemented server-side upgrades that are targeted at reducing instances of rubber banding often experienced in the later part of a round in all-out warfare modes. They significantly reduce the instances of stuttering when playing on breakaway. If the silos are destroyed, it should no longer reduce performance on the server. Battlefield then went on to note that they are continuing to investigate similar occurrences that have been reported to us on other maps. The next change that we have to talk about is when looking at allies on your team, their names will now correctly be displayed. They adjusted the animations for Falk during the end of round sequence to ensure that she is displayed correctly. They updated a skin earnable for Boris via mastery progression with a new name, Gator. If you guys remember right, the name was pretty yikes before, but they were able to update that, and the new name is Gator. Moving on to our next update, they ensured TDM rounds in Battlefield Portal always start with random deploy set as active. They said on their post that we observed that this sometimes wasn't active when moving from round to round, but we have now fixed this issue. They applied a set of measures that ensure the correct number of AI spawn in custom Battlefield Portal modes using the free-for-all preset. And then we have an update that is PC only. They enabled specialist selection and hazard zone via mouse interaction, removing the need to lock your selection with a spacebar. The next thing is they fixed a rare occurrence in Battlefield hazard zone that would sometimes cause the end of round flow to not activate correctly, ensuring that the correct amount of bonus XP was awarded. They repaired another issue found in hazard zone that could cause players to be shown on the map when they were not visible or spotted. And the last change in this update 0.2.1 is they provided a fix for hazard zone players who were not seeing their extraction streaks updated correctly. Now we have to shift gears to the day one update for Battlefield 2042. So as you guys know, the day one update for Battlefield 2042 is going to be launching on the official release date of the game, which is November 19th, 2021. And with that, we have some brand new details that have been leaked by Tom Henderson. They go over some details regarding the day one patch. So according to Tom Henderson's Twitter, he said, and I quote, #Battlefield 2042, day one patch November 19th, which is the launch patch. And then he confirmed a day 10 patch for Battlefield 2042 on November 30th, which is a quality of life update. And then day 25 patch on December 7th will be the content patch. He then went on to say that there's people saying the day one patch is going to fix a lot of issues, but that's likely to come in the day 10 patch. He then went on to state that also, yes, the day 10 and day 25 names make no sense relative to the date, but that's what they're called. The day 25 patch includes additions pushed from launch, not actual in-game content. And he further clarified, to be clear, the day 25 is not stuff like weapons, maps, etc. An example was player stats. It looks like no new in-game content has come into the game for several months, according to their season plan statement announcement. So along with player stats in the day 25 patch, I hope they include a scoreboard as well as some heavily needed UI updates. He then went on to further clarify that DICE is a very unique way of doing things, but here's a further rundown on dates. Day one patch deadline was before early access launch, end of October. The day one patch of Battlefield 2042 will not be addressing any of the issues during the early access launch. So for any of the bugs and glitches that have happened in the early access period, they will not be addressed until the day 10 patch of Battlefield 2042, which the deadline for that is November 23rd. I am very curious on what DICE's plans are for the day 25 patch in terms of content update. I would assume that that's when they will start to roll out their limited time modes for BF 2042 and maybe give us new updates and content for Battlefield Hazard Zone, as well as different game modes for Battlefield Portal that we can jump into. I really hope they put a lot of work into the day one patch and it's significant enough to at least keep us going until the quality of life update. With the current state that Battlefield 2042 is in, I have a feeling that we're going to be getting a lot of updates to this game, because at the end of the day, if you look at what the early access build is, they have stripped so much content from this game, it is actually insane to see. I still have faith that DICE is able to turn things around, but the only way that that's going to happen is if they continue to listen to the community and provide updates and weekly patches on a frequent cadence that keeps people coming back to the game. If you take a look at the game mode Hazard Zone, it is a fun concept, but unfortunately it almost feels pointless to play. the one thing that I look forward to every time I boot up BF 2042 is playing Battlefield Portal. Honestly, if they didn't include Portal, I would probably be heavily turned off with the game because it is so difficult to play all-out warfare in its current state. The fact that one SMG completely outperforms every assault rifle and DMR in the game is absolutely mind-blowing to me. They have to fix the bloom on the assault rifles because at this point, the only thing that you run into for all-out warfare is people running Bisons, PP-29s, sniper rifles, and tanks and helicopters and jets. I would certainly hope that they're able to sort out the issue of the ARs having crazy bloom in the day one patch of the game, but we will not know until the update actually releases. Now, we know the date of the Battlefield 2042 day one patch, but what about timing? When are we going to get it released? If I were to give an educated guess, I would say our best bet is on the morning of the 19th, likely at 2 a.m. the same time as the PC launch of BF 2042's early access. Now, to shift gears to another issue that is currently plaguing Battlefield 2042, and that is the server rubber banding. We've got some updates for you guys according to Battlefield Direct Communication. In a statement they said on Twitter, "We have spent our day investigating the reported instances of rubber banding that most commonly appear on All Out Warfare. This is an issue occurring on our side and we're all over it." To which they followed that up with another tweet, and I quote, "For the next 2 hours, we are temporarily disabling the proc sensor to aid us with our investigations on the rubber banding issue. This is a throwable slot gadget that is unlocked at soldier rank 22. Please adjust your loadouts and we will be back in 2 hours with an update." So they followed that up with, "We are going to sustain this temporary change and keep the proc sensor inactive for the time being. We will let you know when this throwable has been re-enabled. Our investigations have shown that this change is helping to improve server performance." It's pretty wild to me that one throwable proc sensor is what is breaking the current servers and supposedly causing most of the rubber banding issues. Funny enough though, whenever they announced the change, I've still been getting rubber banding issues in the game, as well as just terrible server performance. So I think it's pretty safe to assume that it's not just the proc sensor that's causing all of the performance issues with the Battlefield 2042 all-out warfare servers. It seems like every single day of Battlefield 2042's early access lifecycle, there is yet another item removed. First it was the ballistic shield, and now it is the proc sensor. My question is, what is next? And will they have to go through this same process of removing items after the day one patch? Because surely that update will also bring some more bugs and glitches to the game, as well as some other needed fixes. I guess only time will tell. But guys, that is going to wrap it up with this video. If you guys want to stay up to date for all things Battlefield 2042, as well as news regarding the day one patch and future updates to the game, be sure to subscribe to my channel with your notifications on. Like the video if you haven't already, and don't forget to check back tomorrow for another Battlefield 2042 news video.